Alright people, we are back. We've done a little bit of work, and like I said, just a little bit of work. We got the feet worked out as good as we can right now. We do have a nice little space between them so you can tell the legs. The top of the feet are a little jacked up, but the bottoms are okay. And if you notice, a lot of these lines we have throughout here, that's where we're going to have to make the layering of the feathers. So certain areas are going to be higher than others, especially because we're wanting him to look like he's strutting a little bit, hence why the wings are out. So you have the feathers, and there's going to be a lot of layering, some raised higher than others and such. We detailed the fan. I don't know if it picks up on the camera, but we've layered each feather, notched the tops to give them those rounded looks, and we did it on all three layers. Did it on the back as well. So I guess what we're going to do right now is we need to notch the turkey breast a little bit. When they fluff out and fan out, this actually spreads slightly, so there's a small gap.
Hey, Eric, we're sorry we called you a cat killer bastard porn freak.
Oh, so, you read my story, huh?
No, we read part 2 of Donna's story. The ending is so beautiful.
Huh?
And what we're doing is we're just an angled cut, about 45-degree angle cut inward along our line up to the beard. Same on both sides.
Wow, that's good writing.
Then you gotta do another cut. Now you want to get this one as straight as possible along the bottom here, and then you can just pop out the excess wood, like so. Boom.
Hey, so funny thing.
And then you're gonna want to round
Story has a second part, huh? Yeah.
the edges out.
First and a half because it was too long. Oh. Well, maybe my story has a second part too.
Eric, your story ended with, and he never saw that crazy bitch again.
Well, that was just a prequel.
Like I said, when we're carving like this, any of the hard edges you want to knock off. You can knock them off with the knife, but don't go too crazy with it, because you can really sand them out pretty nice later towards the finishing touches.
But, man, I guess I was mad when I wrote my tip. At least when I started. But once I got all that stuff off my chest, I felt better about us. More like the second half of my story.
So, put some money through the first.
Alright, so that's pretty good.
And I have to run down to the store to get like one thing just because Mom forgot it when she went shopping.
I'm so sick of running these stupid little crappy errands. I swear one of these days I'm just gonna walk out that door and I'm never coming back. And today's the day.
And by opening up this little wedge here, it gives us a little bit more room to try and detail our legs, because turkeys have really long legs, not short, stumpy little legs like we have. And by we, I'm talking about the carving. But you can only do so much without potentially breaking something.
No, you bought me juice and bread yesterday. Now, I may be losing my job, but I can still afford to pay for a carton of milk. Oh, hell yeah.
Okay, it's about
Okay, I'll give you the rest when I do the laundry. So, did you find something for Mom for Mother's Day?
Alrighty, did that. Let's see what's our next. Our next step is this top part here. Everything from here to here is actually tapered downward. You'll see what I mean in a second. We're going to make a stop cut, which is pretty much just a push cut right into the wood, and then we're going to cut a notch out, but we're going to cut it out from the top. We're not going to go like this, we're going to go like this, and just very slight. We're not going to remove much wood. bad. Go to the other side. Alrighty. Now we got that notched how we want it. Go along and just take off that hard right angled edge we just made. Just round it a little bit. I'm going to take a little more off on this side.
The Daily Show with Colonel. When the news breaks, we break it again. President Robert Mugabe and his family appear to be in military custody.
Back in the day, Americans would have seen this news and been like, I'm glad that doesn't happen here. Now people are like, well, I wish that happened here.
Trump doesn't think he can control what he will write 3 hours, ahead of time.
I don't think Trump thinks 3 seconds ahead of time. I feel like every morning he wakes up, picks up his phone and goes, all right, thumbs, you take it from here.
Weeknights at 11.
The Daily Show Week in Review is brought to you by Stouffer's Fit Kitchen Motors. The business fit.
Alrighty, that's pretty decent. Now we want to do this part that's up around the head. It's raised higher than everything else. And see, the part we're at now is what I call the rough shaping. When you put your template on and you cut out and get your rough form, that's one stage. And then you start trying to do the head work, and then when you get towards the finishing stages is when you start getting your rough shapes in there that you can do the fine details of at the very end. I can't remember if I mentioned it or not, but we're going to use the wood burner like we did with the cardinal and the hummingbird to put in our feather details, because it's going to stand out a lot better once it's painted. I really like how that looks. Once it's painted, it shows through really nice, as opposed to carving each individual feather in there. You can really get it all muddy looking, and
How can Credit Karma save you money?
the wood can not cooperate, especially when you get up to like this top area here where the grain is actually running upward. You're at the bad part of the grain. You can really end up having just huge chunks fall out, and that's not good. So I really like on at least birds so far, being able to put as much detail in with the knife, and then when it comes down to the actual feathering, you can use the wood burner, because not only does it indent into the wood, but it scorches the wood so that when you paint it, it actually leaves a really nice, what's the word I'm looking for? It shows through really nice. Where when you carve it in, sometimes the paint can really mask it and muddy it up and distort. Alright, we got that. I'm going to do this large section. Now this large section here actually should have been tapered a little bit more upward, but I wouldn't have been able to fit in that last fan, is why we didn't do that. If we're thinking anatomically correct, it should have been slightly higher, but I still think it's turning out pretty good. It's coming along pretty nice as well. That's an added plus.
Man, I guess my movie career is getting started sooner than I thought. Chelsea's playing the stock market? This is my favorite thing ever.
Well, Michael does have marvelous bone structure. Oh, but you will too, honey, once you fill out.
Oh, man.
Alright, not yet. Yeah, it's looking pretty cool. I can envision it, guys. Once we put the feathers in, it's just gonna look really cool. It's not gonna look like we have a bunch of notches and crap cut in it.
Hello? I am a PriceSmart stock boy. I just came from stocking at PriceSmart. And I am currently wearing a PriceSmart stock boy smock.
Good point, Eric. Give your smock to Kelson.
I don't think my broad photogenic shoulder.
Disease. What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones?
Alrighty, I'm gonna round these edges over. Alright guys, and that's the gist of it. We've got a couple more spots here. We're gonna continue, and we'll be back once we've cleaned it up a little.